Philip to Evelyn, Tuesday, January 19th. Sweetheart, received your 12-page letter this morning, but some of the contents pained me, especially the incident about the heat. Just put your foot down, baby, and keep it down. If there is any further trouble with either Gloria or Mom or anyone else, just don't bother to argue, but tell whoever it happens to be that he or she will have to answer to me. Then write and tell me about it, and I'll make somebody's ears burn. You can count on it. It's not a question of money since they are paying the bills, but if anything happens to endanger Adele's well-being, there will be hell to pay. Keep the temperature in the house at the figure set by the doctor, and let no one change it for any reason. If Jack or anyone has to have hot water, tell him to let you know well ahead of time so no one will use it. It seems to me we had plenty of hot water last winter with the thermostat at 72 degrees. I can't understand Mom's action in setting it at 80 and then neglecting to correct it. If she complains that she is too cold with the thermometer at 72 degrees, tell her to bundle up or go to bed, but Page 2, under no conditions is she to let it go above that figure as it is too warm for the baby, and she can help herself while the baby can't. The whole thing disgusts me beyond words. It's things like this that make it so bitter to be away from home. Would that I were there by your side to keep these aggravations from you, my sweet. I'm sorry to say I'm sadly disappointed in my family, except Harry, who, as far as I know, has straightened out nicely. I know how impossible it all seems for you, Chippy, if under existing conditions, but as I pointed out yesterday, you gain nothing by letting these things get you down. I wish with all my heart, Angel, that I could be of some concrete aid to you in your loneliness and trouble, and I feel so futile because of it. But at least, honey, take these sermons to heart so I can feel that these puny efforts at condolence and consolation and constructive criticism are not entirely wasted on you. Some parts of your letter were encouraging, like Adele picking up weight and getting prettier. Is it possible? Every day? And Jack taking the trouble to call, and Harry and Goldie getting their pictures, etc. I finally got those letters off to Max and Sam and feel a lot better for it. The only thing I can report is that I'm starting my shots over again. Today I was inoculated for typhoid, tetanus, and smallpox. Time for bed now, my lovely. I love you dearly. Kiss the baby for us. Your Phil. Evelyn to Phil, January 20th, 1943, 7:45 p.m. Darling hubby, can't understand why today was mailless. This is the first time you missed on a weekday, and our 22nd monthly anniversary at that. You said in your Sunday letter that you had to go on duty as cook at 12 noon Monday. Is that why I failed to receive mail? I called Dottie this morning, and she is fine. The baby did weigh 8 pounds 1.5 ounces. Has black hair, and she thinks it's the image of Snuff. She said the baby was very red. Snuff couldn't understand why, so Dot said if you were up there as long as he was, you'd be red too. Cute reply, don't you think? I sent her a beautiful card, 15 cents, and she liked it immensely. I signed it as you usually do. It was sunny and clear, but freezing cold today. Lil called, and she's down in the dumps. Said she sent you a letter. Maxie Brown is going to go to school near Chicago. His outfit is going overseas, and he was lucky indeed to get such a break. Myra is beginning to walk, but is still very much incapacitated. Eddie, my brother, passed all his subjects. Adele cried a lot last night, but is getting used to the omission of the Page 3, 2 a.m. bottle. I seem to be at a loss for words. Is it possible? So I'll make this short and sweet. I love you, dear. Your Evie. Philip to Evelyn, Wednesday, January 20th, 5:10 p.m. Angel mine, your letter of the 18th arrived today, and I was glad to hear that Yale is out of danger. God knows it's bad enough to have a boy away from home, but the fear of losing him is immeasurably worse, and I can feel for all the strong uns in this situation. Suffice it to say that I was greatly relieved that he came through it all right. I also received mail from Lil, and her letter is so wacky I can hardly make it out. We hiked about 2.5 miles this morning, but the weather, although cold, was so nice that we rather enjoyed it. The rest of the day was taken up with short-arm inspection and mechanical discussion. I surprised myself and everyone else by taking exception with the statement the sergeant made during the course of the discussion, and wonder of wonders proving him wrong and me right. Honestly, Chippy, I can't get over it. One might very justifiably ask me, what the hell do you know about machinery? But good old common sense dictated my action and proved my point. Page 2. Tomorrow I'm slated for KP, and since I am going into town tomorrow to hear the Don Cossack choir, I may not find the time to write. Please forgive me if this is the case. This morning, after lunch, I went over to the PX to get a card for Jack N., only to find it closed for inventory, so I'll write a letter to him, okay? It's only 8 days since I was with you, my sweet, but already it seems 8 years. The hell of it is that I have no earthly idea as to when I'll see you again. This makes it so much harder to bear. But bear it we must, since we have no alternative, and since we must bear the hardship of being separated, let us do it with the best grace we can manage. After all, many, many husbands and fathers are separated from their loved ones these days, and we must be as brave as the bravest, if only to make us feel worthy of each other's love. Can you understand and condone this, Evie? You asked me in a recent letter if I can see us together again real soon. I do not claim to be psychic, honey, but it may please you to know that I feel, rather than know from any extraneous source, that the war is reaching a successful climax, and it is this feeling that keeps me going. Someday we will look back on these dark days and they will be as a dream. Let us spare our hearts and minds the misery of reality and consider them as such now. And let's look forward to that happy day of awakening with real faith, shall we? I love you always, Phil. Dorothy Cohen to Phil, January 20th, 1943. Dear Phil, well, it is all over. Last night I had an 8-pound, 1.5-ounce boy who is the image of snuff. He is a chubby thing with lots of black hair. He cries nice and loud and always has his fist in his mouth. Please drop me a line here at the hospital before the 29th, as no, page 2, visitors are allowed due to the smallpox and measles epidemic. The address is care of Jefferson Hospital, 10th and Sansom Streets, room 1104. I'm not going to say much in this letter, as I'll have more to tell you later. Please write soon. Dot and Snuff.